But, and this one's going to be about metal work. When I first started this, I didn't know anything about auto body. Nothing, zero, zilch. But first I'm going to show you two people that I follow on YouTube, and I'll read it, and then I'll show you. Lakeside Auto Body. This guy does it for a living, and he thinks the way I think, so I can watch it. And then Fritz's Fabrication. He can make anything out of metal, and he can explain it in terms that that I can understand. Like he makes, well, you gotta watch it. He makes everything. So I'll see if I can. Again, I can't see because I don't. Let me turn my viewfinder around. If you can see that, I'll just tilt it because I don't know what kind of light. This is things I've learned, and Fritz is really good about this stuff. That's all he does. He likes to show how to fix rust. But what he says is, first of all, don't just cut out everything, you know. Cut it out and save it. You might need it, but, so let's say it's a bad area here, when you got a new piece of metal. Lay it on there like that, or whatever, you know, whatever the hole is. Make this piece bigger. Put a couple tack welds in it to hold it in place. And then just, if you want to do butt welds. Butt welds meaning it's butted together. So you tack it. Then you get your grinder and you just like grind right here. Then you weld there, weld here. And you just keep going. And that way you don't have to cut this piece perfect. And I think that's a really good way. The other way is, butt welds are a real pain in the ass, because then you have to grind the heck out of it. So on Lakeside Auto Body, he says, you know, get your patch, cut the metal a little big, and then just kind of fold it down. In other words, this is just an exaggeration, but fold the metal down a little bit, and then and when you get to the point where it's flush, if you can see that, just weld it right there, and then just fill that hole with filler. I think that's a damn good idea. I haven't done it yet. I mean, it's not as pretty. I mean, if someone was to disassemble your car someday, and I see these videos where they go, "Oh, this guy did terrible body work," but man, it sucks grinding. So anyway, you bend that lip down all the way around. You know, maybe make a little cut right here. And just weld it into the fold. And when you I hope I'm explaining this right. Then you just weld it, and you only have to grind a little bit, and then you're going to have to use Bondo anyway. And then just fill that little hole with Bondo. So that's my tip. That's what but I'm just going to sand this down, and we'll see what happens. If it's high, I'm going to have to tap it in. If it's low, you can't get in there because there's an inner quarter panel. And I don't feel like pulling anything out. I'll just float it. And I can tell you, it isn't that bad, but you know, your hand is one of the best things you can feel. And I don't know if you can see it, there's a dent here, a bad spot here, but I'm just going to concentrate on that. And that doesn't really show up. But if there's a big dent here, I can see it. There's a dent here, and those little dents. I don't know, for YouTube videos or Amazon. So when the light shines, it'll shine a grid. And since there's holes, it'll show the bends. It just shows up immediately. and it's a bright light. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to buy that. Just thought I'd toss that in. But as I got older, man, it gets hard to bend. But the lift is the greatest thing in the world. So I'd say it's one of the best investments if you can afford it. But what I like about it is I can get up to any height I want. Okay, so let's say you never did body work in your life, like I never had. All I know is I see some dents and I want to get rid of them, but I don't know how. So I'm just gonna. But when you sand, you can. The high and low spots will show up immediately. And by the way, they keep using this term DA. Again, I'm from the construction world. I don't know what DA was. It just means double action sander. I guess that, and I think that means orbital. You know. So that definitely is 40. Let's see the difference. It looks flat, but is it? So now we'll see what we got over here. That seems to be the same. This is more round. And that flat spot that I was talking about should really come out to make it more round. So we're just going to sand some more and see what the card tells us. So again, not being an expert, not knowing what I'm doing, I got to find some clues of what's going on here. The point I'm making on this video is I'm not an expert. I haven't been doing it 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years. But it doesn't matter. Once you start doing anything, like this whole car, you know more than the guy that doesn't know anything. Okay, it's my car. I can do anything I want. I look at this as like a learning tool. So I know I got to use some wax and grease remover or tack cloth until your rag doesn't get any more dirt on it or paint on it or whatever you want to call it. Hit it again. It's a good idea just to feel it. So I'm just going to float this whole thing. It doesn't matter if it's too thick or thin. And then I'll show you what I mean. Well, it matters if it's too thin, but the less coat. I mean, if you don't put it on thick enough, you're just going to have to keep doing it over and over. So again, I'm going to pretend like I've never done this in my life. And as you know, I haven't done it very much at all. You can get this stuff at Harbor Supply for 25 bucks. All I know is I got some dents and I got to try to fix them. And I don't want to pay anybody to do it. And I'm going to use a spatula no matter what they show on. I'm going to stir it up a little bit. It looks okay. No matter what they show, with everybody that can swirl it with a Bondo knife, I can't do it. Or I don't want to do it. It's my car. Now I saw somebody show that you should do this because to mix it all up, so I'm going to do that. And I'm not sure how much to put on. I saw videos. I mean, if it was liquid and you wanted to measure it and all that, but I'm just going to put on what I think is enough. And if you put on too much, it sets up too quick. Well, I don't know what I'm doing, but I think that's enough. So the thing is, you want to get it where you don't see gray anymore, and push down to get to mix them together. So what you really want to see is you don't want to see any bright red or gray. And this stuff is really thick. I'm going to add some plastic thinner. So again, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know there's one spot there, but I'm just going to float over this whole thing. Part of this is to get in the hang of using this putty knife. I mean, since it's round, I gotta go kind of like that. There's my hole. Starting to set up already, I think. Pretty liquid. I think there's a hole in here. So I'm going to go sideways right here. Okay, maybe I got it too thin. Oh well, maybe it's dropping all over the floor. See that? There's a high spot right there. first coat. I should have put it on thicker. Okay, I cleaned up my tools with lacquer thinner, and I put the cover back on the Bondo. But now I'm feeling it. It's still really sticky, so I don't want to touch it yet. I think that's because I put in that so much of that. What's it called again? It's called thinner. But it will dry. So I'm just going to do something else for a little while. Again, we're just trying. When you're learning, you're trying to learn anything. But again, the best way is if you work next to somebody that knows what they're doing. But I don't have that, so. When it dries, just for the heck of it, I'm going to use this stuff again that I showed in another video. It's like, I think it's like coal dust. I'm just going to wipe it on there, right or wrong. I don't know if it's right or wrong. And if I see that there's low spots, that tells me something. But I do see a shadow right here. So I think this area right here is a little low. Again, I can put this on there. Here, there is no flat spots. But right in this area, I have a flat spot. So I gotta build it up so I can start rounding it. Maybe I'll have to put some more here and there afterwards. I'm just going to give you another angle on this. You can see, at least I can see, this right here needs to be built up a little bit. I don't know why, but it does, or I want it to be that way. I could probably get away with making it flat, but I don't want to make it flat. And I got a flexible one this time because I want to kind of, let's see. Yeah, you tilt it, you can kind of make a high spot. Again, we're just doing whatever we want to do until you learn. Well, that's not working too good. I'm just going to try to make it thicker in that area. By hand. Go thin down here. I don't care how thick it is. But I'm trying to make it round. I can see it needs some in here too. Get it on there first. Again, it was pretty good over here. Already setting up. I'm going to push hard to hit the bottom, and then I'm going to go lightly and hard. Easy, lightly, hard. Okay, on that, at the beginning I said Lakeside Auto. I got this idea from him. He uses like about a rounder file, but you can break down some of the high spots that you don't want to get all over your. For an example, I don't know if you can see it. Just don't want us to have to sand all that. It's a little wet. I want to get this car up higher. I'm getting old. I got to lift. Again, in my opinion, you don't have to get it perfect the first time or the second time. You're just trying to establish something. Better, huh? This is where I need that round file. Again, in my opinion, you don't have to get it perfect the first time or the second time. You're just trying to establish something. I need that round file. Anyway, I'm slowly creeping up on it. Right now, I just want to smooth out a little bit to see where I am. I don't know if I can get the camera out of the way. Looking better. This ain't gonna do it. Sloppy, and that's okay. I'm trying to get rid of that round spot. I mean the flat spot. And right now, still got a little low right here. I know I repeat myself a lot, but the only way to get experience, if you don't have experience, is to try. And maybe if you try enough, maybe somebody will hire you. But the best way, again, is to learn from somebody that really knows what they're doing. You see those, I don't know if you can see those dark spots. A little bit low. I mean, a little bit low still. Besides that, not bad right there actually. That could come up a little bit more. But I'm going to fill this one more time. Build up another 1/8 of an inch. Sand it again. And when I get it a little bit closer, then I can start filling in these holes. don't have enough experience to do it right the very first time. I just don't. This is the last bad spot on the car, by the way. So I'm going to put one more coat, just for the heck of it, see if it's still dirty. See if I need to use this wax and grease remover. Usually I don't use it. For one thing, it soaks into the Bondo. But it's pretty clean. It's the paint that is a mess. But I'll show you, so now I can really show you with the air gun what I'm talking about. You don't want to put anything on this when it's wet. But hardly anything's coming out of it. So watch it dry off. As a beginner, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know there's a low spot. I can always sand up. I can always grind down or grind down whatever I want. I'm just trying to get it right there. Push, get it thinner there. Start tight. And push tight. Start tight, let it flow a little thick, push it tight. That was already pretty good right there. A couple low spots. Leftover mud. It's almost hard already. Okay, I don't want to mess with it. Okay, I got the round now. So I'm just gonna shape it a little bit more. Go down as far. So I can't go down too far, and I can't keep it up too high. I want to take off as much Bondo as I can, but not lose that shape. Then when I get that, I'll do one more skim coat, maybe two. Looks pretty good. Compared to what it was. it curving this way. Okay, now that I have the shape that I want, or at least, yeah, the shape, I'm just gonna fill it in. One more time. Or it might be more than one more time. A low spot right there. Yeah, I just need a little more coat. A little extra. Got a low spot there. Low spot right there. A little bit here. Not as easy. It's not that easy. This is an art. And I'm not an artist. Okay, here's the driver's side. This is what I was trying to go for. It's not perfect. It's better. And I still haven't sanded it. Anyway, that's the idea. The ideal thing is you keep sanding it till the black spots go away. If not, gotta put. If I start hitting metal, gotta do another coat. Give me a workout. Anyway, these spots are so minor, except for right there. I could use fill primer. Anyway, that's how I do it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying you got to try. Yeah, I decided to go over it with one skim coat to fill any little holes, even though I don't have to. I'll show you what I use. This stuff is really lightweight. Starting to set up now. It's really good for a last coat. I'll show you what it is. Trying to hold this stuff in my hand while I do it. I'm beat. I don't know why. It's old age. Anyway, it's typical of my videos. I feel like doing something different. It's really going to be the last body work that I can think of, except for little stuff, little spots. And it's been bothering me, so I just did it. But again, there's no right, there's no wrong. I'm just trying to encourage people to try everything and anything. That's how you get experience. Get a freaking mask. Anyway, I'm starting to go bald. It started happening about 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, I'll probably cut most of this out of here, but I hurt my shoulder last year. I went around cutting bushes. Again, this is old age. I'm on 5 acres, so I went around and cut every bush that I could reach, as high as I could reach, on the whole 5 acres. And then it didn't hurt at the time, but then the next day it was freaking, I was in like agony. I pulled a muscle like right on where the shoulder blade is, that line, and it hurt for 3 months. And I didn't make any videos then, I don't think. And man, I didn't think it was ever going to go away. So now, just doing what I just did, it's sore, but it's not aching. It was so bad that if I went, I couldn't drive. But if I was a passenger in a car and I went over a bump, just that little bump was like agony. That's what you guys got to look forward to. So keep going as long as you can. And when you can't go anymore, I mean, what are you gonna do? Sit in a chair all day? You know, you can see I let myself go out of shape somehow. No, I know how it happened. Is first you hurt your shoulders, so you can't do weights and you can't do push-ups. Then you hurt your hip and you can't walk a long way, and you can't. Then I hurt my back and I couldn't do sit-ups. And I should have just. And I got like this anxiety thing because I got all this energy all the time. But if I don't eat, I get stressed out. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Why am I telling you all this shit that you don't want to know? This is what you got. This is what you get to look forward to. Okay, I'm going to show you one more thing. This is a place I found a sticker. See that sticker there? back in my drinking days, I'd go here all the time, man. This is the greatest place in the world. That's back when I get enough drinks in me that I want to dance. I was slim and trim. It was in the San Jose, close to the Harley shop, off let's see, now it's been 15, 20 years. Off of Stevens Creek, let's see. Off of 280, yeah. No, off of 101. Off of 101. That Meridian turnoff. Yeah, man, I had a lot of fun there. The good old days. It was like Gillies. They had a bull you could ride, and there was like a bar over here, a bar over there, a bar over there, full of women. And I wasn't married at that time. I mean, now I'm thinking, oh shit, what did I just say? And I think my wife died when I was at a certain time, and I just went crazy. But man, it was fun. While I'm at it. I'm in Washington now. Tumwater, that sticker right there. You know, I used to like to go around and find different spots. I found this abandoned building, and I went inside. It was like frickin' Coliseum, not a Coliseum, like a mini Coliseum with a cover, with a dirt floor, with bleachers. It was like a huge horse arena. I mean, it was just humongous. I'd say the top of the ceiling was 100 feet. 200 feet across each way, all made out of wood. They tore it down.